Good evening, race fans, and welcome to another edition of Slingin Dirt. We appreciate you taking the time out of your day. Today, we are joined in the studio with Shaylee Bay, driver of the 03 Sprint car.
That's
Did I
right.
get that right? 03. And Buddy Ray, as always. I'm Dan Taylor, and we're going to get into talking a little bit about the 604 crates, the 305 Race Savers that Shaylee is racing this year, and we're going to talk opening weekend at Crawford County Speedway in Denison, Iowa. So let's get into it. Shaylee, thanks so much for taking the time.
Thanks for inviting me.
How have you been doing this year so far? You're kind of our girl in the know as far as this Race Saver 305s go, so kind of talk about how your first few races have been.
Practice went horribly.
I heard you took a little bit of a tumble.
Well, yeah, kind of. We were 6 laps into practice, and I got high in some mushy, soupy stuff, and my car just slid, and I went straight into the tire. Did about $4,000 worth of damage. But after everything's fixed, we had it fixed for the next weekend and went out for racing 2 weeks ago and took 5th, so top 5 for the first race ever. Thought that was pretty good. And then this weekend, our brake line broke, so we had to pull off.
Oh.
I was wondering what happened when you pulled off.
Bud had the same thing. I wonder if you had a brake line that broke going into your
this
heat
last
race?
Saturday night, brake line on your car broke.
Yep.
Friday night, my brake line broke on the left front.
Did you get brake lines from Speedway?
No, they came on the car.
There must be gremlins running around.
Is yours steel or plastic?
Ours was the new ones that they just came out with.
The new one. See,
From
mine's the old
Speedway.
plastic.
And
we're changing that.
And they said they were not supposed to break. They were guaranteed not to break. 2
And yours
races
broke.
in, and it broke.
Did they guarantee and fix them for free?
Yep.
Good boys.
They replaced them, yeah. My dad was not happy.
I'll bet. And that's kind of one of those crappy things that it's probably, a $20 part
Yep.
that ruined your night?
Yep.
How has racing been? Have you been racing full-time at Eagle for the 2 weeks, correct?
Correct.
Are you racing your 305 anywhere else?
Not right now.
Just
we're waiting. Right now, we're just getting seat time.
Do you know, Bud, if there's any other tracks that are running 305s?
Grain Valley.
Isn't that down there in Missouri?
Yeah, Kansas, Missouri area.
Right on the Kansas-Missouri line,
Yep.
isn't it? Yeah, Grain Valley. As far as IMCA 305 actual sanctioned cars, I thought the only ones I knew of were maybe way up north, Wisconsin, North Dakota, up in that area.
And doesn't Knoxville run them also?
I think Knoxville has a 305 class, but I don't think it's IMCA sanctioned.
But you're just running Eagle right now.
Yes, just feeling the car out, getting used to the car, getting used to the new team. Right now, we just want to keep it easy before we start traveling.
You have a new team?
Well, kind of. We added a few.
Your mom said you fired her.
No.
Yeah. What is up with this?
What?
We talked to your mom last weekend on the front stretch for Mother's Day.
Yeah.
And she said, first of all, did you take her out for a nice dinner?
We made dinner.
Okay.
What'd you make?
Stuffed shells.
Ooh.
It was very
When are you
good.
bringing Dana nice? I mean, look at
Lasagna.
I'm a little
Dana and I
peckish over
look
here.
like poster kids for Ethiopia.
Yeah.
So like donuts.
I'll take that too. I'll take anything.
Dan's a fat guy. He'll eat anything.
Anything at any time. But
He's not
she
picky.
said you fired her as your photographer, as something else too. I can't remember what she said.
Video camera
That's it.
recorder.
Yep. She goes,
It's because you'll be watching it and you'll be like, oh, wrong car. And then she'll jump back and we're like, Mom, no, you missed it. And she'll be like, oh, Shaylee, you can hear her on the camera. Oh, sorry. Oh, there she is coming around. Be like, all right.
did you? And you didn't tell her about the wreck on practice, did you?
No, she was in Florida with my sister
Yeah.
because my sister has competition cheer, so we didn't tell Mom.
I'm sure she's known about it by now.
Oh, yeah, she definitely knows.
Yeah, she said she figured out eventually, but yeah.
What'd she say about that?
Nothing really.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you kind of get the feeling she's worried a little bit more about you?
Yes and no. I think after everything starts getting going, she's really not going to be as worried as just the initial thought. The initial thought of everybody being rookie drivers out there, I think that's what scared her. But now that we're all kind of coming together, everybody's really good about holding a line. I mean, nobody's out there squirreling around, going
I
top to
noticed that.
bottom. You know, they all hold a line pretty well. I'm not complaining at all. And everybody gives everybody room.
Yeah, you don't see that in too many classes at Eagle, really.
No.
I mean, it's almost like you guys are just having a blast racing each other out there.
Oh, it is fun. It is so much fun.
Let's talk about those other drivers. The whole reason why Rogers switched over and started running the 305s was because the 360s were essentially dying. There was I think he said about 6 to 8, maybe 10 cars a week that were racing at the 360s last year, last couple of years.
I think they were racing 12 to 15 weekly. There wasn't exactly 20 or 30, but I want to say there was 15 to maybe 20 weekly.
It was definitely on the downtick.
Yeah, it was on the downtick.
And what are you guys seeing for the 305s?
305s, I think everything's looking good so far. I mean, more cars are coming. Everybody still doesn't have their cars done. The engines were getting done. But so far, everything's going awesome. And everybody's really good about, like, if somebody wrecks or something, everybody's there to put their 2 cents in. Hey, if you need anything, we can help you out here. We have this, that, a chassis for cheap.
Do you personally know of other Race Saver sprint car drivers that have not raced that are getting their cars ready for Eagle?
There is one. I think it's Rick. He drives a 4D, and they were going to be out here this weekend, but they couldn't make it because they both had to work. But he's – dang, hold on.
Looking up his name?
Yep.
On that fancy camo phone. Hey, I got volume back in my earphones now.
Hey, there you go. It's going to cut in and out.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, because you wrapped the headphones. This is, by the way, is great race talking radio.
You can edit this part out.
Oh, no. It's staying in there. This is edit-free stuff.
Yeah.
This is when it really counts.
Yeah.
How about them donuts, by the way?
Yeah.
Now you got me really hungry.
Donuts, lasagna, stuffed shells.
I'll make some cookies.
I'm still going to Quaker Steak and Lube after this.
Seriously?
I'm going to get some
donuts.
donuts.
You got a hot young driver telling you that she can cook food and you want to go to Quaker Steak
She
and
ain't
Lube?
going to get it for me tonight. This guy's
right.
fat right now. Fat and hungry right now. I want my food. I want some boom boom shrimp sauce on some donuts. Can you make that happen, Shaylee?
Yes, but not today.
Yes, but not today, she says.
But I will get right on
So
that.
this Rick guy, where's this
Rick Garrow.
Okay.
Rick Garrow. Okay. Now where's he out of?
Omaha, I believe.
So he was hoping to come last weekend. Is he going to make it this weekend?
Yes, he will.
Okay.
He got the car done. The weekend that we had the first race, his motor wasn't in, and now they got the motor in, and then they both had to do inventory on the Saturday that they both raced, the yearly inventory. So they'll be out there this week.
Now, how many heat races did you all have in the Race Savers last week?
2 heat.
2 heats.
Yep.
And there were 6 to a heat, 8 to a heat?
Well, somebody crashed in hot laps, but there was supposed to be 8 and 8.
So that's 16 cars. So by the end of the year, do you see the Race Savers having 20, 25 cars?
Oh, definitely. How could it not?
Yeah, I mean, how much, for the average person that doesn't know, when you look at, and I'm not going to mention other 360 drivers here, but we've heard of some 360 drivers spending $50,000, $52,000 for a top-of-the-line, race-ready motor just to put in their sprint car. And I've heard of 360 sprint cars going for $75,000, $80,000, just full-blown race-ready. You don't have that in your Race Saver.
No, we do not.
So if you don't mind, well, you don't have to say a specific amount, but fudge it a little bit. How much?
Ballpark it.
Ballpark, we probably have roughly 15,000 total, everything.
In the engine or the entire car?
The whole thing.
Wow.
Now, by
Roller
comparison,
ready.
You've got more than 15 in your car.
Yeah, $15,000 would buy you a nice sport mod roller. Not turnkey. Turnkey sport mod, $20,000-$25,000.
Yeah, I remember you talking to me about what you got for your Prowler. And, it won $15,000.
No, this sprint car deal is actually a genius.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing. Now, can you take and I apologize for probably being the dumb question, but a 305 chassis and put a 360 in it?
They're the exact same.
Exact same chassis.
You get a chassis, you could put any motor. You could put a 360, 305, or 410 motor in it.
So the only thing that's different from your car and someone like Stu Snyder, Jack Dover, is simply the engine.
Yep,
Is that it's a 305 engine. And
same tires and everything?
Yep.
What we looked it up that one day. I think it was 200 less horsepower.
Oh, no, it's way more than 200 horsepower, isn't it, Shaylee?
No. 200 less.
Oh, yeah.
I think a 360 runs 700 horsepower is to where a 305 runs 500 horsepower. And that's typical. It's not an exact
I see where,
Yep.
Okay, so have you ever had your Sprint dynoed?
Yes, we did, but I don't know what it dynoed at.
That's a tree racer right there. I don't know what it dynoed at.
Leave that up.
Smiling.
Leave that up to the crew chief.
Yeah.
We'll leave that to your
game.
imagination, bud.
Plans for the rest of this year? You going to run any specials?
We're gonna go down. There's a new track getting built down in Texas, and they want some 305s to go down there. So Roger's going to pick 5 305s and send us down there.
You know when that is?
He hasn't said. The guy hasn't said when the track's going to be fully done yet, but we will be the opener. It'd probably be like June, July.
Oh, so not too far
End
away.
of June.
Yeah,
Okay.
end of June, July.
So this is a
area.
brand new track.
Brand new, never been raced on. Not
Doesn't
even
that kind of make
finished.
you a little nervous with track prep and whatnot?
No. See, the new tracks are the nicest tracks. Grain Valley, great no, not Grain Valley.
So they've been around a while.
Atchison. Have you ever been to Atchison?
No.
Awesome track, awesome facilities, everything about it. The guy did it completely right. He has everything is just perfect there.
Really?
Brand new track.
That's the second driver this week that's actually told me about, and I can't even say Atchison?
Atchison. I couldn't either for the longest time.
Atchison, Kansas.
Listen, I know how you feel about mispronouncing things.
Yeah. So, but that's good. I mean, you know, and we were talking here, I think it was last week on the Slingin Dirt, Dan.
Well, we didn't do it last week, so the week before.
2 weeks ago. When I was out there at Eagle, I was telling Roger there's a lot of people that had a lot of good things to say about the Race Saver. And here's the deal. I mean, are you as fast as Stu Snyder or Jack Dover? No. Are you even close? In my opinion, no.
Well,
But now, wait. Does that mean you're not putting on a good race? Absolutely not. You guys are putting on a hell of a race. You don't need a 140-mile-an-hour sprint car going around the high banks of
To
Eagle
make a good
to make a good
race.
race.
Right.
You can still go 120 mile an hour and put on a hell of a race around the high banks of Eagle. And the one thing I was noticing that very first night in the feature, and I think you and Lacey Tuttle were battling back and forth for position a lot. You guys, within the first 2 laps, were 3 and 4 wide.
Yep, going around the turn.
When's the last name 1 360 race that we saw like that?
I couldn't even tell you.
And I'm not saying it hasn't happened, but lap after lap happening that way. And I was like, man, look at this. And like you said, Shaylee, everybody's giving each other room. Everybody's giving each other a lane. It's like you all know where you're going. But I mean, to hear that you guys are all coming together up there on $1 Million Row, I call it. You know, if something breaks or if you got in a wreck and everybody's coming around, I call it $1 Million Row, and there's a reason Shaylee knows why. All the big toters and the haulers and everything are up there, so I call it $1 Million Row. I'm more in Section 8 Valley. I'm down there with a better class of losers. But that's good. I mean, so you think it's going to take off and it's going to prosper?
There's no reason it shouldn't.
Yeah.
And I think the only thing that's making like everybody's downgrading 305s is because it used to be 360s and now it's 305s and everybody thinks it's going to be so much slower. But if you bring somebody that really kind of doesn't know racing, you know, and had them watch 305s, they wouldn't really know the difference between a 305 and a 360. They're still going around there pretty dang good.
Oh, yeah.
And break this off for me, if you will. A place like Eagle that is a short track. I mean, it's a small track. It's a little bit of a bull ring.
A little bit.
A place like Eagle where a 360, they're not going to get up to full speed.
No.
Are you guys getting close to full speed?
I'm wide open.
Okay, wide open the entire. Okay,
I think 360s are wide open going down the straightaways.
But here's what I'm saying. I'm not saying they're not wide open. What I'm saying is that the speed difference can't be much because the track is smaller.
The track is going to dictate the speed of the car.
You go to a place like I-80 where I'm just thrilled. I'm so excited to see the 410s race at for the World of Outlaws there on June 9th. I'm excited to see that because that's a big track. That's front stretch. That's long straightaways where they're going to build up that
wide
speed.
sweeping corners.
So it's going to work there. See, I don't think the 410s would be put on as good of a show at Eagle because it's a smaller track. Does that make any sense? Am I making any sense at all?
Yeah, the only thing I don't like when you start getting into your 360, 410 sprint cars is that, in my opinion, it seems like you can always pick out the top 4 or 5 guys that are going to run away with the show. And when they run away with the show, it's not like they're all grouped together either. I mean, you got 20 guys in a feature out there, you know, well, that guy, and that guy is going to be top 4. And then even then they're, you know, a quarter of a track spread out, and you're like, okay, so they're just making their way through lap traffic. Okay, snooze time.
And you do get that throughout all of the fields, too. There just seems to be something to where there was a race at Denison this week that they finished exactly how they started.
Denison race this week.
Yeah, I know.
We've had 2 rainouts, or one.
One rainout, yeah.
One rainout, yeah.
No, and I think, was it? I think it was not the modifieds. It was the late models that they finished pretty much exactly how they started.
That's a dry, slick track for you.
Yeah. But anyway, so the 305s, I'm really excited about it because the thing is that what was killing them was the price of doing business. And when you've got a car that is $50,000, you're less likely to run. I think you're less likely to run side by side and push that envelope as opposed to a car that is going to cost you $15,000 because you've got to protect all of that equipment.
Right.
So I think the racing is going to be better simply because you've got the ability to where if you do happen to wreck it, it's going to cost you a heck of a lot less to fix it.
Now, as long as you've been racing, Shaylee, not counting yourself, here's a trick question. Not counting yourself, can you look at that field of Race Saver drivers and tell me, as a fan of it, who do you see, maybe becoming a star of the field? Not counting yourself, because everybody's going to go, me.
A star of the field. As in, like, pick to win every weekend?
No, who do you see so far as being a weekly top 5 driver?
Mike Boston.
Okay, take Mike out of the equation. That's like going, Jimmy Johnson's going to win the Sprint Cup.
Well, now you're taking everybody out of the equation. Oh, quit taking that guy. Well, you can't say that. Okay, you're taking 5 guys out now.
Okay, not counting Mike Boston.
And girls, my apologies.
Here's the reason why I ask. Because I think almost everybody in the Race Saver are new drivers. That's the exciting part of it. Mike Boston, okay, well, if you put Tony Stewart in a sport mod and take him to Eagle Raceway, who do you think is going to be top 5 every week? Well, Tony Stewart.
Well,
in the
but
Race
that's
Savers,
not necessarily true. I mean, we've had numbers of drivers in here say sport mods drive completely different than late models. Tony's good at open wheel sprint cars. Doesn't mean he could be good at a sport mod, though.
He's driven modifieds. So anyways, back to my original question. I mean, Lacey Tuttle, Matt Richards. The number 20 car, Ellingen, whatever his name is. The guy that won the feature the first night out at Eagle. Works at Speedway. Some girl by the name of Shaylee Bade.
But you said she can't be in it.
Well, I know. I was just giving her a hard time.
I think the stars of the show this year in 305s, it's going to be a female just because it's so diverse. That'd be one of your crowd favorite.
Well, and I want to point out that, again, I want to go back to the reason why Roger Hayden went with the 305s is because it's cheaper. And you're proving that point that his philosophy was correct because you're saying how many new drivers? You went right from karts to sprints, right?
Go-karts to mini sprints.
Right.
To sprint cars.
Okay, right. And you're talking about all these other drivers that have now stepped up into the sprint cars. That's the whole idea of this sport is to graduate up to the next, well, not the whole idea, but that's one benefit is to start out in your sport compacts, make your way up to your sport mods, up to your stocks, your sport mods, your hobby stocks.
Right.
Make your way up through to the harder classes, to the more expensive, to the harder racing. And the 305 Race Savers give that bridge, and it's proof with those 16 cars out there that pretty much everybody's new.
Yeah.
Into the sprint car field. I'm saying not just into racing the 305s, but just into the sprint car field.
All but probably 2.
Yeah.
Out of the whole field.
Well, I mean, I know you had Mike Boston out there. Isn't Nick Bryan racing?
Yep.
Okay, so you have that person there, but who else? I mean, I can't think of anybody else from the old 360
That's really
days.
it.
Yeah.
Everybody else
But
is
you know
new.
what? Here's what's going to happen. Will Mike Boston probably win every show? I'm going to say it, yes. But Mike Boston's going to be your Jesse Sabine of the sport mods.
It only took 18 minutes.
And here's why. Mike Boston has years and years of experience wheeling in a 360 or a 410 sprint
And at
car.
Eagle.
So with that, and at Eagle. So as a driver, whether you want to admit it or not, can you see yourself learning stuff by watching him in the heat race or in a feature?
Definitely. As soon as Mike passes me, I go straight into follow mode. Mike can go this high, I'm going this high. Mike can go this low, I'm going this low.
Have you used him as a source of knowledge, like out in the pits? Like, hey, I was having trouble here, as some advice?
Not yet, but I'm going to. I have a couple of questions, but I'm going to go ask him.
Well, should we let Shaylee off the hot seat for a little bit?
Sure.
Okay. You want to talk Denison Open, or you want to talk 604s?
We can go. Let's talk Denison.
You want to talk 6, or do you want to talk 604s tonight? I know you're kind of tired of that topic.
No, we can talk. Well, and it's not just the 604s, it's the crate motors. I've been watching on Facebook, there's a new group. There was a whowon.com forum. It's being closed up now. So a racer here in Iowa, I can't remember his name, he created a Who Won for Iowa, or an Iowa Who Won or something like that on Facebook. and I joined the group, and I was reading it this weekend or this last few days, and they got into the crate deal. It's just like the race savers. The race savers, you got guys spending $40,000-$50,000 on the motor. Roger said this is getting to be ridiculous. It's the same four guys winning night in and night out. So he made this cheaper class. We just talked to Shaylee on that, and it's being proven that you can go race and put on a good show for a lot less money. Well, here I just told Shaylee, racers, and boy, am I going to get hate mail for this. Racers, we are our own worst enemy. We are not the brightest individuals at times.
Yeah, you're not breaking any barriers with those two statements right there.
Well, no. So we've got, right now in IMCA, outside of the sprint cars going to Eagle, the big news right now nationwide is the 604 crate motor going to the A-mods. We've got guys spending $10,000, $15,000 for their motors. Well, now guys are taking and getting these 604 crate engines, which all it is like a 95 Chevy truck motor. Nothing major. It might make 450 horsepower. That's it. I mean, it's pretty small.
Okay.
But they're $5,000 motors. And these guys are going out and winning with them. Mm-hmm. Well, here's what I don't understand. So we have a motor that's $10,000 cheaper.
Fired up.
You damn right I'm fired up. We got a motor that's $10,000 cheaper than what the average feature winner's running.
Yeah.
The average $10,000, $15,000 motor, you're getting 60, 75 shows. 604 is getting 200. I don't know where the problem is there. And people want to bitch about this? Are you kidding me? I was like, wow.
Yeah, I'm a little. So what are they bitching about? What are they saying?
That the crates are dominating.
Okay.
I don't know. Here's a thought. Free your car up, set it up, and drive the damn thing.
Okay.
It ain't that hard. Okay, Jesse Sobin.
It's a little ironic that we're actually having a conversation of a cheaper motor out there and people are complaining about it.
Okay, remember at Denison,
right?
The 1X, Chris Abelson.
Yeah.
That's an open motor.
Okay.
Sabi, 99, that's your crate motor.
Okay.
Now, Sabine, you and I battled about this. You don't think he had anything for Sabine. I think had he not been in the first, or for Abelson, I think had Sabine not gotten his right front messed up a little bit, I think he may not have won, but he'd been right there with Abelson.
See, I don't think so. He didn't have anything for him at the beginning either.
Now, supposedly, Abelson's car, and I don't know how true it is. It could be wrong, but I've been told numerous times that motor has been in that $10,000 to $15,000 range. Sabine's motor is in that $5,000. It's a crate motor.
Okay.
And Sabine's taken his crate motor, and he's running against Abelson-style motors all over Iowa, and he's beating them. And then drivers want to bitch, well, the local engine builders, they're out of work, and they're out of business, and it's not healthy for... If you think these guys only build IMCA motors, well, that's pretty ignorant on their part, because I'm sure they're building motors for sprint cars or NASCAR, dirt track cars, or truck pulling motors, or they're doing other stuff.
It's pretty dumb to limit yourself just to a racing.
I mean, if I'm taking a $15,000 motor, and we never had a crate option, and you wanted to race against me, Dan, and then IMC said, well, Danny, I tell you what, to save you money, we'll let you run this $5,000 motor, and we think you can run up front with it. Well, would you take a gander at it?
God, yes, I'd spend $10,000 less to finish third every week like Sabing did.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have a problem with that. The payout for third's pretty damn good.
Come on, guys, what in the hell are you bitching about?
Yeah.
I mean,
and by the way, send all your hate mail to Buddy J
at joeskarting.com.
joeskarting.com. That's Buddy J at joeskarting.com.
I mean, that would be like me taking my 360 sprint car motor to Eagle, and then Shaylee's whooping my ass with a Race Saver motor, and then me going, well, I can't believe I'm getting my ass whooped by a motor that's 200 horsepower less than I got.
Set your car up right, or be better.
Or go. Or here's a thought: sell your motor and go cheaper and get a Shaylee Bade motor.
Might as well. I mean,
heck yeah.
And what I've learned over the last few years, it's horsepower is nice, but it's not king.
No.
What is king is hooking the car up.
Hooking the car up. Your setup is
you
more
can have
important.
5,000 horsepower, but if you're coming off the corner and your car's not hooked up, you're spinning your tires. What good is it when me with 300 horsepower has got my tires hooked up just fine and I'm hauling down the backstretch?
Right.
I got something right.
Sometimes
man, you're learning.
faster.
I'm learning. I tell you.
Even he got a little fired up. Like Dan, if you listeners could hear this, Dan's over here going, well, yeah. I mean, you look like you've just been doing this for 20 years.
I'm ready to get this over with. I'm freaking hungry.
Yeah. All right.
Let's talk Denison Open. You and I had this little firefight.
Oh, boy, did we ever.
I'm smacking papers.
Hey, we have another driver here that we can bounce an
Please.
opinion off of.
2 weeks ago, the first Slingin Dirt we did, Buddy went off on a little bit of a tangent for drivers to get registered early. because it's kind of asinine to show up to a track. Gee, I don't know. Track says hot laps are at 7, racing at 7:30. You show up at 7:25.
Haven't registered or nothing.
Nothing.
Are you implying something?
No.
Why in the hell would drivers?
Maybe.
Well, the whole big thing, and of course, I'm going to defend my track, which I understand there was issues in the pits, there was issues on the track. It was rusty first week of racing, but the racing still took about 4 hours. It was about 4 hours. We got started about 8:35, and we wrapped it up about 12:35. 4 hours is not bad for what we have.
139 cars.
139 cars. There was sometimes 5 heat races, sometimes 4. Late models had 2. That was the least.
2B features.
2B features.
2 rollovers with red flags.
Yeah. Honestly, I think once the racing got started, there was a couple of hiccups, but it didn't delay the end of the racing much. We could have been out of there at midnight had there not been any good racing and it had been single file.
Actually, I think we could have been out at about 11:30, somewhere in that ballpark.
Had it been, but
I tell you what, if we started on time,
frustrated
no
me.
2 flips, everybody's registered, we'd been out of there by 10:30.
I agree. I completely agree. But it absolutely baffled me that I looked out the press box at 7:25, and there was still drivers pulling up, registering. And, of course, it takes longer to type in all the information, so there was that long wait after the drivers' meeting of they're still typing in all the information into the tracking system and then sending it over to the officials booth. So it just clogged everything up and absolutely and it frustrated a lot of fans, which I got to give them credit. I did not expect fans to stick around until 12:30 at night.
I think a lot of the people that showed up though to register like that late were people that don't or won't run Denison weekly. What irritates me more is when you have a local driver that lives in Denison, only had, 7 months, a little season called winter to register, and then they do it right then and there, and then they're like, well, I was busy all 7 months.
Yeah.
I'm like, seriously, you're not going anywhere. The track's not going anywhere. You could have registered. Now, granted, any week you're going to have the late people that show up.
Right.
Now, Eagle, and I'm not saying this because Shaylee's here, but Shaylee, she just kind of implied that she was one of them. But Eagle's also 10 miles away from Eagle's got a few drivers, but it's not like, most of the cars live in Eagle. So those people have to get off work at 5 o'clock. Now you do have Saturdays, but even Shaylee could have registered a month early. She knew she was racing there.
Yeah.
I mean,
next year. Well, next year.
I know.
But I don't want to get too hard on her because we're not going to get fed.
Good racing Friday night at Denison.
Oh, my God. Good racing at Denison. And Jim Standard from IMCA was there. So thoroughly impressed.
Beautiful track. Am I wrong?
Oh, beautiful track. As many cars as they had, I cannot commend Denison Crawford County Speedway enough to have 2 inches of water on Thursday, knee-deep water Friday morning, and a rock-solid, dry, slick, smooth surface, except for 1 and 2. It was chunking up there on the bottom side of 1 and 2. We saw that with the cars bouncing. You couldn't have asked for a better track. I mean,
and that was one problem that Sobbing had. You and I talked about he was faster in 3 and 4. I think it was his line was right in the way of those bumps, and he was losing.
Did you see how his car would
Yeah. So anyways, but that was a little bit of a sidetrack. But yeah, I was watching the Facebook posts, Crawford County, and they kept posting about every hour. Not sure if we're going to get into racing, but the sun's out, it's drying out. They went out there all day Thursday and dug trenches to drain the water off, and there was a big pool on the exit of 4 right along the pit wall. And that's where all the water had drained off. And I thought it was kind of funny because I sat there the entire day and I'm like, God, we may not go racing tonight because of the storm that came through that portion of Iowa on, what was it, Wednesday night?
Thursday.
They got 2 inches of rain.
No, that was Thursday afternoon.
Okay. So they were out there trying to drain that water off. And then, sure enough, about an hour before racing actually got started, they're out there spraying the track down because it dried out so much.
Because I walked out there, I was like, you guys are literally re-watering the track? It's got to be soft and gooey, and they're like, no, it's packed down pretty darn hard. Now, typically in my experience, when I see Denison Friday night when we started, it was pretty dusty. I mean, it was bad, and then they started putting more moisture, more water on it. And normally, when I've seen tracks do that, once the water's gone, it gets dustier. But then the dust settled down. It really cooled off in the pits too.
Yeah,
Air
it was a
temp,
little
and
chilly.
so I think the moisture came up and that held the dust down. But man, Denison couldn't have done any better. I mean, they did a fantastic job. And for the fans out there listening to the Slingin Dirt, you're really doing yourself a disfavor if you don't go to Denison on a Friday night and watch.
Get down there at least once. It's a good time.
Oh,
I have a
tell
lot
you
of fun.
$8 to get in.
Yeah.
Shaylee, when's the last time you'd ever seen a racetrack? $8 to get in to watch the races.
It's been a long time.
Normally it's about 10, 12, right?
Yeah.
15?
Average.
$8 to get in the races. That's back before Shaylee was born.
Yeah.
Hey.
It wasn't that long ago, though.
I know. That's what I'm thinking.
Suck up.
Well, it wasn't. I was just shocked when he's like, Bud's like, Dane, she's not 21 yet. And I was like, seriously? Oh, well, okay, she's not drinking with us. 70 or 17?
70.
Oh, well, we'll get some practice in one of these.
She's over there.
By the way, we do not condone underage drinking.
Is it MDR Customs?
Yep, and MDR Racing and Customs.
Yeah, she's got, the little calendar on the wall. As she walks in every morning, hits a time clock, pulls a date down off the wall. All right, 69 more days to go.
Anything else we want to talk about for today's Slingin Dirt?
No, I'm pretty good. Who do you? The one thing I did want to ask you though, at Denison, who? Anybody look a little off? Anybody shine a little bit? In the sport mods, the Logan. Oh my God, I just said.
I did it too. Thank God you did it. The Scott brothers.
Yeah, the Scott brothers. They didn't look.
Yeah, they looked a little flat.
Yeah, and then the 33 of Tim Rupp.
Tim Rupp. Mm-hmm.
He looked a little flat.
Well, he still finished second though.
But I tell you what, that number 12 of Smith. Woo, doggy, he's going to be pretty tough.
In what class?
Smith?
The sport mods?
Sport mods. Doug Smith, I believe, is his name. And how about Dylan
Well,
Haney?
he finished 19th though.
Yeah, but I think he broke.
Okay.
I think he broke. But I tell you what, Dylan Haney, the 76 in the
Jason
late model,
Haney.
or Jason Haney.
Good God, nobody can catch that guy.
Oh,
He's
gone.
going to walk away with it. And
Yeah.
by the way, Denison's doing something new this year. They've got a $12,000 John Deere points paying system between Denison and Alta.
Which is Buena Vista
Right.
Raceway.
You run 70% of the races in any division except for the late models between Alta and Denison, and you're going to get into that $12,000 payout. That's a huge number. And I wonder if that didn't entice Sobbing to come down a little bit.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why he's racing there. But when you get into the A mods, in the sport mods, we can run anywhere in the nation and get national points. In the A mods, it's way different.
Really?
Your national points, you can only get it within your region. Iowa and Nebraska are two totally separate regions. So he can go race an A mod show and get the pay. Those points will not go towards national points, though. So for Sobbing, and he's running for national points in Rookie of the Year, so he'll be running Oski, Alta, Denison, and Harlan 4 days a week. So that's going to be a hell of a show for him. But when you got the Alta and Denison joint John Deere Championship Series point fund, that's going to be enticing for him right then and there. What'd you think of Sobbing and Abelson? Because that's the first time you'd really gotten to watch Sobbing really go after it.
Yeah, I was going to say that was the first time I got to see him finish a race at Denison.
He started 10th or so.
Yeah, he did.
It didn't take him long to make his way to the front, though.
He looked damn fast in his heat, obviously.
For a crate motor, yes.
Yeah, damn fast. And then him and Abelson both shot to the front and put some serious distance on the field during their heat race.
Bub Lorette looked really good.
Oh, God, he looked good. I thought he was going to win that race. Had it not been for that last caution, I think he'd have won the race.
But you know what? Those three drivers, I don't think they were the class of the field. I think there was one better.
Who?
Shane DeMay.
I got to disagree with that. Shane's our defending champion, but
look at where he started. Look where he finished.
I don't have where he started.
19th to 7th.
Yeah, but I mean, he didn't. Once he broke into that top 10, he had a tough time moving.
Yeah, but by the time, Shaylee, in your opinion, you've been in these mini sprint races. If you start way in the back of the field, say 20 cars, and you're in the back of the field, and you make it up to 7th or 8th, is that a damn good night for you?
That's a damn good night.
Okay, well,
one piece. It's hard to get through all that
Don't take
traffic.
it as I'm talking bad about him, though.
Well, no.
That's a good point.
No, you're not talking bad about him. But some people are like, well, yeah, but he wasn't up there in the top 3. I understand that. Like in the sport mod feature, I finished 12th in the sport mod feature. After
13th.
I'm 12th in points. That means I finished 12th, and we've only had 1 week of racing.
You're 13th.
Well, 2 now.
Oh, okay. Well, 13th. I went from 24th to 13th in the feature.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty damn good split right there, coming back like that. But, it's a lot of times it's really hard to come from the way in the back because you got a lot of people back there. And I'm not saying it's all bad people, but how many times you've been starting way in the back shit and you're like, oh my God, these people have no idea which way they're going.
Oh,
You got to hold up. Otherwise, you're up in the front with the first 6 cars.
And you can just go.
You can just go because y'all go together.
Because you're all good.
Yeah.
But then you got the people in the back that don't know what they're doing, don't know where they're going, don't know what line to hold, and you got all that dirty air and everybody going everywhere, and you have so many cars.
And they're simply in the way.
And
Yeah, and then if somebody spins out, then you got to watch the car that spun out and everybody around them and make sure you don't hit anybody.
I swear, the people in the back half of the field, is it not true? They don't even know how to spin out correctly.
It's chaos.
It is. I mean, there's been times I've pulled off the feature just because I'm not getting my stuff tore up. I'm out, guys.
Okay, listen, it was week 1. It was cold as hell, so I'm anticipating a couple of guys didn't have their cars set up right. I'm not an expert on the case or anything. Shane DeMay didn't impress me, but the guy totally impressed me last year, so I'm giving him a week or 2 to get his wheels back underneath him.
He's the hard charger winner this week.
Is he?
Yeah.
Good. He didn't do bad. I'm just saying that, I pay attention to the top 5 because that's who I've got to call on. And Abelson and Sobbing moved right up to the front. Lorette was up there. He was leading a lot of laps. And I think last week Sobbing finished right where his car was, which was 3rd place. In fact, I think had it gone a little bit longer, he may have dropped to 4th. He was having some trouble with his car at the end of the race. But I'm not saying he's bad, and I know you're going to defend him. I know, president of the fan club. I know you're going to defend him, but I'm just saying, Abelson and Lorette had a better car that week.
Abelson and Lorette also didn't get in a 8-car skirmish.
Well, neither did he. He tapped the wall.
He went airborne.
No,
the front end of his car went airborne, slammed on the ground, and he shot to the wall. Yeah, slamming the front end on the ground wouldn't blow a shock and cause you to push to the wall.
I do remember a car doing that. I don't remember that it was him, but
that was him.
Okay, all right, but still. Before that happened, he still didn't have anything for him. He never led a lap. He couldn't get his nose out there. He just couldn't make the car. Just calm down. I'm not talking bad about the guy. Quit getting defensive. It's okay. 3rd place. It's pretty damn good. Calm down.
Dan
I think
20th with a car.
I think we need to wrap this up.
I think we should get Dan in a car this year.
Yeah.
I'd love to hot lap it.
No.
Which one?
Anything. I'll hot lap a sprint car.
If you can fit in my seat, I'll let you do it.
Well,
Were we putting that on air?
We're going to have to cancel the donuts.
Hold on.
It is a Butler-built custom seat
I'm not
to
fitting
my
that.
body.
I'm not fitting that thing.
So is that a legitimate offer?
Legitimate offer. Dan, if you can fit in it, you can take her out for a hot lap.
Well, I'm going to come out to Eagle one of these nights then.
Is Dan not turning the few women have 50 shades of gray. You're turning like 50 shades of red over there.
What? Why am I turning red? I'm not turning red. I'm not scared at all. I'll hop into a.
You get a little like pink going on there.
That's because I'm hungry. I get pink when I'm hungry. I also get cranky. Let's wrap this bitch up. All right, thank you so much for joining us. We're going to wrap up the Slingin Dirt. Be sure to tune in this Sunday for the front stretch. Shaylee's going to do an interview with us in turn 3. We're also going to be live and talking about the Sprint All-Star Race, which is going down Saturday night for NASCAR. That'll all happen Sunday morning at 8 a.m. It's been the Slingin Dirt, presented by Joe's Karting. Thanks so much for listening.